And record, yeah.
Stream, and I'm gonna press go live. Okay, gentlemen, we're gonna go live now, right?
Okay, okay.
Okay, thanks, Chalo. Okay,
Okay.
shoot.
Shoot.
Technology is great.
I know. I'm trying to figure out the technology, and I think we're live now. I'm just waiting for the notification to come out.
So good, man. I'm just saying it's great because we don't have to be there physically.
I know. But I would rather be in Tinian. Okay, we're live now.
All right.
And so, Buenas. My name is Troy Torres with Kandit News, and we have with us on Zoom from the beautiful island of Tinian, Democratic senatorial candidate Jose Cruz and Democratic House candidate Frederick Dela Cruz. Welcome, gentlemen. Hafa
Day.
Day para todos.
Thank you so much for joining us. For our audiences in the Mariana Islands and throughout the world, you guys have a significant absentee voting block too, right?
Yes,
correct.
Yes, we do.
All right. Well, why don't you? You know what? Let me allow you guys to introduce yourselves, your backgrounds, and then I'll ask you why are you running. So please introduce yourselves and give us your backgrounds.
All right, I will start. My name is Jose Pangilinan Cruz. I'm known as Gurak on the island. And born February 3rd, 1960, and I'm running for this election, November 3rd, 2020, in the Senate position. And I live here all along from since childhood.
Yeah.
I don't leave my island, so I feel my island that needs somebody that feels the pain, the experiencing, and so many things, and that's why I am into this position. I want to serve and represent the people of Tinian and hear them and listen to their voices. What is tomorrow for all of us? What happened yesterday is already happened today. We're trying to find a solution how we can serve our people of Tinian to better their livelihood.
Okay.
And I'll leave that to Freddy so that we can continue on. I'm into running in this position.
Quick background on me. My name's Frederick R.N. Dela Cruz. I'm a military brat. My father was in the military. I was born in Germany. We moved down here. My mom's German. My mom's lived here in Tinian longer than I have because back when I was growing up here, we didn't have a high school program. So after the 8th grade, you had to move either to Saipan or Guam to finish your high school education, which I graduated. I was a Trojan, all right? I graduated down in a tradesman, excuse me.
Okay.
GTC, Guam Community College, but it was a trade school at the time. Joined the military, did a 22 and a half year career in the military. Got to see different places of the world, different way governments operate, kind of opened my horizons on a lot more than just our way of doing things. And that's something I can bring to the table, some of the experiences that I have. I came back to the beautiful island of Tinian after contracting because my dream is to live here after I retire, which I did for the rest of my life. And the reason that I'm running started back 2 years ago when I ran during the general election. I ran independent for the same position, House of Representatives. And it's to represent our people. I mean, I wasn't too happy with a lot of the things that were going on. And the GOP's been been the controlling power here. Now, the GOP is not a bad organization. It's the people within the organization that I question sometimes. So when it comes to any political party, everybody has their little platform that they run by, but it all boils down to the individuals inside those parties. And look at where we're at right now. We don't have an economy. I mean, everything's shut down, not just because of the COVID, but, look at this natural disaster that came in. Our governor stated at one time that, hey, we have this robust economy. But yet, prior to that, Larissa Larson put out that we were in a deficit for 25 million. You know, I mean, what's going on here? But yet we keep trying to increase salaries. And hey, I'm all about paying people what they deserve. But we got to look around and look at everybody because the government's here to provide a service in safety, a service in medical, and all these services that we need for our island to function and our community to function, from education. And I think we've been lagging in those areas, and we need to do a reset because look at what's going on in the world. I think it's doing its own reset right now.
Yes.
So that's where I'm coming from.
So, gentlemen, before we get to the issues, Mr. De La Cruz, you raised the topic of integrity. And from what I understand about the politics happening in the CNMI, integrity is a big topic these days because of what has been happening, as you said, with certain people, not the whole party, but with the people who have been in charge of the government and happen to be a part of the GOP. Why are you two? I'm sorry. Let me rephrase that. How will the two of you restore integrity and trust in the government through your offices? And why should the people of Tinian believe that you are the men with integrity to be elected into these offices?
Well, I am in various capacities in the government organization.
Okay.
And with that being said, then let me refrain that.
Sure.
Freddie, please go ahead and try.
Yeah. Okay.
Can,
I kind of lost my train of thought
Yeah.
there, but you want to bring back integrity to the government. Well, it's going to start with accountability.
Okay.
I mean,
and transparency.
Yeah. Well,
Okay.
with accountability, we got to know what's going out. We got to know what's coming in and where they're going out to. That's the first thing, how you can account. You got to identify what's there because we can't keep spending, but there's nothing there to back that up. Then we got to look at all these services that we are providing. Do we have multiple, like, for example, these cabinet members? They're great people. They're doing a job. But, why would they start collecting all this overtime and special pay when you got all these people furloughed? But I'm kind of digressing there a little bit. But I think it starts once it's not if, but I think that the minority here come midterm is going to become the majority. And I think the accountability, it's already been starting now with Tina and them spearheading these inquiries into all our financial spending and how we're doing the furloughs and all of that. But in order for them to actually take this across the finish line, it's about numbers. I think you know that, Troy. You've been in government a while. You understand how the numbers work. And they need the amount of people because the reality here with everything that's being alleged against the governor, from his spending to mismanagement of funds or whatever it is they want to label it out there. And so, I mean, there's a lot of facts coming out. I think that's enough to warrant an impeachment. I'm not the smartest guy. I'm not into the legal mumbo jumbo, and all that stuff. But there's people that get paid to do that. And I think what we need to do is start cleaning house and start from the beginning and make sure that the people of the CNMI are at the forefront whenever we make these decisions,
Let me see. Troy, can I say something?
Yes, absolutely, sir.
I mentioned that transparency, the reason why that seriously, I always ask myself to ask the people, what do we really want for tomorrow?
Mm-hmm.
I believe transparency, communication, especially in a position to pass a laws or, any kind of bills, people needs to know.
Mm-hmm.
And we can hear the people's opinion and feelings so that before we make any decision that is not in favor of the people. So, it's all about making sure that the people is aware of what's going on. So I stand that I say that if I'm elected, Troy, this is one thing for sure, is that whatever I'm going to make a decision in that house, in the legislature in Saipan, I think not only that my constituents, but the people of Tinian should know before I make any decision, because Because what's happening today in our lives is really it's hard. For many people, it's tough and it's hard. But for me, with the various experiences in the government that I work managing in different department agencies, I was even a former gaming commissioner. I was even a served two-term gaming task force, the creation of the so-called Athenian Gaming Act of 1989.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and with my background, with all the politicians that I stand behind them, I believe that the incumbent leadership, I used to be with them. I worked my ass
Mm-hmm.
to make people believe they're the right leadership. So with all those times, too many years, the same old things that we're all experiencing, and people start blaming each other. I think for me, I draw my line
Mm-hmm.
because it's not about me or it's not about her or him. It's about we, us.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's important with this crisis going on. Not to blame much about Super Typhoon Yuto, and then between that, there's serious issues in the Commonwealth that we reach almost every week in the media, and then there comes the pandemic. What bothers me is that when Freddie used to come to my house this year, he shared with me many things, and I said to Freddie, I said, you know what, Freddie, I think I'm tired. I just want to let go things back because I'm okay. I'm okay with what I have today. I'm just thinking people behind me,
Mm-hmm.
people that I know that they need our help.
Yeah.
So I said to Freddie, I said, Freddie, when Freddie came back on my house on March, middle part of March, and we were talking about what's happening, what are we going to do about it tomorrow. So I said to Freddie, I said, you know what, Freddie, honestly, I'm experiencing bad headache in politics right now. It's either I quit or I challenge. So I said to Freddie that month, I said, Freddie, prepare yourself because I ain't gonna take this no more. I'm not gonna continue to allow these things to happen that I know that it shouldn't happen. I don't know why it's happening. So I said to Freddie, the moment my headache is recovered, I will declare to run the position of Senate. I need you to join me and run in the House because I believe in you that you can take care of that level and I can take care of this level, and you and I will work with our constituents. We'll go out here and talk to the people, introduce ourselves, why we really want to be in this position as a midterm. You know how powerful GOP they used to be, known, heard? Yeah. I mean, who am I to stand before them and say, I'm going to challenge you? But because I'm tired. I just got tired because I know. Let me give you one example. This pandemic hurt a lot of people. It's global.
Mm-hmm.
It's global, but I can understand other countries. But for my country, I need to be concerned. Each day in my life, I have children, I have grandchildren, I have my family here in Tinian is big. I have many cousins, first cousins, many nieces, many nephews. I see how they are being treated, how they are being neglected with the way the politics system applies to us today. I remember back when my father used to be a president for 20 years. Mariana Island's never been through this island. We'll never be into this hardship in life. What happened to the old days Republican way to serve and protect the people, give the people job, and promote the farming, promote businesses, entrepreneur people. We need to encourage them. We all lost this.
Mm-hmm.
And for God's sake, 16 years. Here comes the pandemic, and we're all going to say, oh, I sit back because there's nothing I can do because of pandemic. No, it's wrong. Because why? In my opinion, we have this military divert airfield project going on.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe that they are for real. They're federal funded, and they will be here permanent in this island. I need the leadership. I need the department agencies, labor, commerce. Where are these agencies to start talking about today? Because many people lost their job. People are struggling. And I see that every day. So nobody's talking about it. Freddie and I, if I'm elected, that will be a priority agenda for me. How to bring people back to work. I can't promise people to work for the government. No. But I will invite trade, vocational school. Please come and help us. We need our unskilled people or skills people to increase and promote their skills talent so that when we refer them to private job, they can feel a decent salary and a decent position. In government, the way it is now, oh, for God's sake, a young generation, you promise a job, you gave him 18, 20,000 a year, you gave him a brush cutter machine, you send him out on the road to do what? To do what? No, we need to change that approach and say, we want you to love your job. We will refer you to a program that will help you. We have the Northern Marianas College. You know, you can enroll many things, occasional and, all this kind of job. If we train our people, believe me, Troy, people will be happy because why? I can't promise job in the government because right now the government couldn't even afford themselves. And who knows? I heard rumors, and I will clarify this, whether it's true that a government employee, when the budget is passed, it will be a 20 hours weekly work for the government.
Wow.
I hope this is not true. I hope it's not going to happen. But if it happens, then how are we going to deal with that? Let me take a break here, and I'll share with Freddie. How about that, Fred?
Well, I wanted to ask, because you were touched on private industry, and I know at least here on Guam, there was a sort of pegging of the future of sustainability on Tinian and Tinian's ability to provide cattle for meat throughout the Marianas. So when we talk about private industries, what is the future of the slaughterhouses or other sustainability efforts so that we're not importing so many things into the Marianas? And how does Tinian fit in there in your agenda for the future?
Well, I mean, there is a slaughterhouse here. I mean, my uncle's the head of the Cattlemen's Association, and they do have a slaughterhouse that's already built right now. But obviously, with this pandemic that's going on, there's a lot of cattle ranchers out here that own livestock, and they do have a plan in place to get that moving. But obviously, it's going to take time. Fortunately enough, there was funds that were made available to purchase that apparatus that they got set up, and it's, from my understanding, it's already upright and ready.
Okay.
I mean, they just haven't kicked it off. So I think the Cattlemen's Association, they're doing a great job out there trying to promote meat down here in Tinian. I gotta commend my Uncle Joe for that. Joe De La Cruz, he spearheaded that program to include my Uncle Ray and many other members in there. That I can't name all of them. There's a lot of them in there. They're trying to promote our beef industry, and it's gonna take time. And I hope it does work because food securities is going to be important here in the future. There's a lot of unknowns. We don't really have until a vaccine comes out, we don't know what the new normal is going to be like. So I think we need to start looking at, bringing back the agriculture, the farming. Currently right now, the foreigners, like the Chinese, they dominate here in the agriculture. We do have some locals that do grow, but compared to the Chinese, they kind of dominated that market. But at one point, when I was growing up here, my grandfather, to include a lot of people in his generation, they were sending a lot of watermelons and produce to Guam. I mean, they were flying it out, bringing ship, and this before technology and irrigation, and all that great stuff. So these are things we need to do a relook on, see how we can support these industries, even if it's just the individual homeowner growing their own product and having like a food market or something like that. I mean, the GOP was starting some stuff here with the market, but unfortunately, with the typhoon that came through, it devastated our island, and it devastated it bad, you know. So now it's where we go from here, you know. All the businesses here, unless I'm wrong, I'll say 95% of the business on our island is owned by a foreign entity, whether they're Chinese, Filipino, you know, because they have great business sense, man. I mean, I've been all over the world. You'd be surprised. I was in the middle of the Amazon jungle, and in the little town, there was a Chinese there speaking Spanish with his store, you know. And maybe we need to take some of those principles and ideas they use and get our locals in there and start, you know, supporting local, man, and finding ways to fund them to create these businesses, whether it's a tire shop, whether it's whatever, you know. So that's about it.
Is there maybe you can educate me, is there a concern that over the past couple or so many years that there's been such a concentration of political power such that the people of Tinian and Rhoda kind of get left out of policies or programs that would benefit the people of Tinian and Rhoda, that would otherwise benefit the people.
You want me to, you know, that could be, it's true. Let's look at it this way. I have relatives, right? There's 9, well, not all of them, but we have 9 dialysis patients right now.
Okay.
In order for them to go through dialysis program, they have to go to Saipan. They got to live there. They uproot them from their family. I mean, that's the only way they're going to stay alive, is to run through the dialysis program. But we don't have one here. And I think we need to move one here because you're removing people from their family. 2, when I was growing up here, we had a dental clinic. We don't have a dental clinic in Tinian. So what are we doing to make sure we provide all these services for people here? So I'll let you answer your own question just based on some of those services that we, you know, everything you got to do. Medicare. You have Medicare, you got to go to Saipan. But thank God, Mrs. Arlene Long, she opened up a shop now. I mean, opened up a clinic. I'm not sure. I think it's I'm not sure, but they opened it up and they take Medicare now. But if they didn't open up, you have to go to Saipan to avail of Medicare. So there's a lot of services that we need to bring down to Tinian. I mean, in the military, we call this thing the golden hour, all right? And when an injury, whether it's through combat operations or just an accident, you know, the medical facilities are not that close, depending on where you're at in the area of operation. And those medics have to provide that golden hour to get them there. But in our situation here, we may not be, we're 5, 10, 15 minutes away by a plane, but we don't account for inclement weather. You know what I mean? So I don't know if that will answer your question, but these are the things that we don't have here that we should have here, but they're not doing nothing about it.
What about
it's too much?
What about the education system? So you talked about health. What about you know, our education services lacking? Mr. Cruz, you mentioned something a bit earlier about getting the people of Tinian opportunities for skills training. But what about your primary and secondary education system?
Okay, you know, Glenn, Troy, I'm sorry, Troy, I'm used to word with Glenn. You know, going back about this education, trade school, and, you know, vocational, I am, for many years back, if people remember. The young generation now today may not remember, but they're hearing me today all those years back. I am a very advocated person here about job. I'm not in a position supporting the political government to make the municipality of Tinian become an employment agency that politically you vote for them, they give you a job, you don't follow instructions, You gotta think twice or you lose your job. This is the practice here. I wanna stop that. How can we stop that? We need to work with the high school. Right now, our high school needs supports from the leadership to open these vocational schools so that we can introduce carpentry, plumbing work, electrical work, many in terms of construction. Because there's so many construction going on in the future on this island, all those things. So, and then the Northern Marianas College that can credit it so that we can introduce over Tinian, the Northern Marianas Institute agencies, Labor Department. What happened to the CW fees? Now that the CW fees has been tripled the fees now, what are we going to do with that? Are we just going to sit back and try to think about how much in for me? Or we say, let's talk about how are we going to start this program? Put people on the skills. Because you know what, Glenn, Troy, I'm saying this. My father is a jacket portrait. He's a 20-year strong Republican Party, undefeated his party. And then he's retired in the government. Now he's gone. God bless his soul, and he continued to rest in peace. But I learned I can be a mechanic, Troy. I can be a fisherman. I can be a plumber. I can be an electrician. I can be a carpenter, many things. I used to joke. I know we're on the air, but let me say this. I used to joke to my friends, people that are close to me, families. Only one thing in my life I can't do. I can't get pregnant. Everybody just yeah, because you know what, Troy, my experience in government as a manager, I label myself. Yeah, I'm the manager. But if you're down there, I also put myself there, and I work with this stuff like that. But I'm a tough manager, meaning I get things done. I'm not a manager to babysit any employee in the job, but I only expect, in my experience in the government, 5 solid hours. Give me that 5 hours, 25 hours a week. That's a huge improvement in the government, whatever you're doing. 3 hours, hey, so long as it's accounted for. So these are the things. So with all my experience, see, like my children, I'll speak for my children. My children nowadays, they don't need me because I train them how to be a responsible person. You need to love your job. You need to take advantage of training. You're on your own. Do the right thing. Don't expect me to go to knock the door of the mayor or knock the door of the governor or knock anybody in the politician. Hey, can you give my son a job? Can you give a good job? No. I don't teach my children like that on the job. I teach my children to be responsible. So, but going back to the farming, Troy, I have the experience in many years back in the 90s. They create this public market. Public market used back in the early Commonwealth used to be a very successful market. But after all our elders are gone, all this farming stuff, the market continues to go down. I was given the opportunity to do something about it. So in my experience in the public market is that all the foreigners, Chinese, no disrespect intended, are farmers. So I go out and I talk to people. Please, I need you to support the market so that I can take your product and go to Guam, introduce to Hawaii, introduce to the military. This hot pepper don't need. Mahalo para Iraq. Imagine back those years. Bananas to Guam, many things. We import Rhoda chips, we exchange, all these things. Unfortunate. My intent there is that I was given a huge amount of hundreds of thousands of dollars from the casino revenue when the dynasty was in operation that time. And my intention is, my dream is to take that money. and invest it and structure permanent a structure downwards. It's been designated here the Pier Public Market Building. Permanently structure, provide a walking freezer, a walking chill, a certified USDA a meat slice machine. I want the USDA Food and Drugs Administration to come in and say, Mr. Cruz, you can slice USDA meat, provided that we have USDA inspector. During those time, we don't have that time. I am very advocate to those agencies. You gotta help me. I can't do this alone. So I connect myself with WAM, Rhoda, and we do this. And during the time, Typhoon Chaba, I was even given a 50,000 revolving fund for the record for the people who are listening. A 50,000 revolving fund, I don't need it. I didn't use it. I only asked for 5,000. I start the public market. I promote the local. Chinese come to me. They go to the politician. Why Mr. Cruz is not accepting? You have to be a U.S. citizen because the purpose of the program is to promote the farmers, the producers. All those times, I don't remember their names, but from Guam department, U.S. department, are coming to Tinian and train people how to plant banana. Because banana was mandated, demanded to Guam, to Rhoda. Unfortunate, those times when Typhoon Chaba, the old building that I came in that I want to improve, I want to put solid concrete, that whatever typhoon comes, it won't matter, it will continue. Unfortunate, Typhoon Chaba destroy everything. The walking chill that I use, walking chill in the freezer that I found somewhere, been abandoned. I took that machine, I installed it. We have to hire a technician, Filipino worker, a good electrician worker, and install that thing. I was working, but my intention with that huge hundreds of $1,000s, I want that facility to be all new and trained. And then also my plan in the farmers is I want people to be no more working under the mayor's office. I want my staff to be a permanent employee. So whichever when the mayor is being replaced or retired, those employees have a purpose under a USDA program. But unfortunate, I was not given with that. When Typhoon Chaba came, it destroys everything. Then I tried to rebuild. It doesn't work, so I just say there's nothing I can do much. So in farming, Glenn, Troy, in Troy, in farming, Troy, co-op will never be. There's no way the co-op program will go anywhere. Because why? The experiencings today, and I've been very advocated about how to promote the farming. First, we need all agencies together, including CUC, Northern Marianas, CRIS, Commerce, Department of Agriculture, Labor Department, DPS Department, because we see many foreign people that do a lot of business that have an illegal vehicle on the street. What is the law enforcement gotta do about that? These are the things that if I'm elected, I want the agencies, I want the leadership to feel that we gotta stop this. We gotta do something to protect our people in farming. So, I would like to come more with that, but maybe I'll take this couple of break and I'll have Freddie share with his thoughts. Why are we really running? But seriously, Troy, I'm running for the best interest of the people. I'm not running for the party. My party endorses me, Democrat. Thank you, Democrat, from the deepest of my heart. But yes, my heart is for my people in Tinian. And my Democrat Party is my organizers that I work with to put things right, to better the people's life. That's why I'm here, that I'm running. Other than that, why will I run? For what? To be called Senator Cruz? Hell no. No. I'm not after the title. I'm not after any privilege. As a matter of fact, my personal cell phone, if I'm elected, I'm pledging to him, the highest above us, that I don't need government phone. I don't need public funds to pay my phone bills. I'll carry on this. I need to have an office in Tinian. I need to use portion of the so-called monthly allowance and have an office, have a place to work. I know I need to be in Saipan, but there's only three reasons that I need to be in Saipan. Is of course there will be appointments that I have to be there. There are committee hearings. There are sessions that I need to be there. Other than that, hey, Saipan, I'll see you later. I gotta go to Tinian because my people is not gonna calling me in my cell phone looking where I am, or people is not gonna go to my house looking for me for what they need. No, Freddie and I were going to have an office. This is my dream, people of Tinian. And Troy, believe me, if only people give me the chance, I will prove that to them. So whatever their expression on the other side, I respect that. But my dream is to serve the people of Tinian, not the party, not certain group, not certain organization, not an individual, not my family, but all of us.
I'm
And
hearing
that I have many things to add up on that, but I'll give Freddie a chance.
Okay.
Freddie, please come take over.
Thank you, Mr.
Hey,
Cruz.
what's-
Mr. Dela
I remember
Cruz.
your question. Yeah, your question regarding the trades. Mr. Philip Long, who was running Bridge Investment at one time, he hired a bunch of unskilled workers, but trained them.
Okay.
They were working, but they were being trained. They got certified in certain areas that they can get certified in, because obviously, you just can't certify somebody as an electrician. There's certain protocol and testing that they got to go through. But that's one company that set an example that all these other businesses that we got here in the future can have some kind of a program integrated in there to not only employ unskilled workers, but train them in certain aspects to where they can leave there a skilled employee.
Okay. One of the major themes that I'm hearing here from the both of you is your desire to provide private sector opportunities for the people of Tinian and the CNMI as a contrast to just filling up or promising away government jobs at a time when there's no government revenue. But one of the really interesting things I heard, and I can't remember which one of you said it, was that these government jobs have just been used by
Political leverage, is it
as
what you're saying?
as political leverage. Yes, and can you talk to
I
us
think
more
it's a
about that?
mindset, Troy. I think it's a mindset, Troy.
Mhm.
I mean, when you do something so much and so often, even if it's wrong, it tends to start being right because it's the norm. And we can't sit here and blame just any other individual that because of you, this is the why we are. This was our political culture, man. It's a this for that thing. And it's not really in your face, but the reality it exists. And nobody's gonna want to admit that. It don't matter if you're Republican, Independent, Democrat. When you start hiring cabinet members and you start hiring whoever it is you're gonna hire, we need to get away from the that old system and start putting people in that are qualified to do the job. And it's a long road. It's not going to happen overnight. Just because we win, we're not going to turn a 180 and everything's going to be pretty and nice. And Troy's only going to come here to tell us about the beautiful island we live in. The reality is, it's going to take time because you can't just erase all of these years of practices that we've been doing these kind of things. It's got to change. And anybody who says that I'm lying or say that it's not true, that if I see you over at his happening or his gathering, I go out and talk to constituents on a daily basis, and I say, hey man, why don't you guys come on down to our gathering this weekend? And they're like, man, I got my brother who's working, or my kid is working, or shit, man, I got a job myself, And it's understandable because I don't want them to show up, they lose their job, and then who pays those bills for them? Because I can't afford to do that. And you can't do that for everybody. So I think there's a mindset that's got to change here. And this is across the board. I mean, you go to the States. like I said, I've been a lot of places in the world, and this word corruption, man, I think is just part of the business, man. And I'm not saying it's right, okay, but we got to start making changes. I mean, we're spending more money than we're pulling in right now. And we're spending it, I think, in some of the right places. Like, for example, this big COVID thing. Now, maybe there's things I don't know about, but all this federal fund for the quarantine. Now, you guys had your issues in Guam with the hotels that they used, and apparently,
Yeah.
people
it was a big
quit.
deal.
You know where I'm getting at,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So obviously, you got Kanoa Resort that's being used and PIC, but we have DPL owns their own building, Mariana's Resort. Why didn't we use that? And then not only are they federal gonna spend all that money, millions of dollars there, but it goes back into our government so we can utilize it for other stuff. But I'm not gonna make accusations here unless I have facts. But it's like I said, there's no bad. There's not bad people. It's people making bad decisions, man. And for whatever their decisions are motivated by, whether it's for personal wealth or just making sure they take care of the party here and the buddy there, we can't keep going like this. I mean,
Well,
let
me ask you both. Let me ask you both. Is when you guys get in there, are you going to ask those tough questions in order to arrive at the truth and with the facts of executive branch cabinet members? Are you guys willing to have them brought in, and are you willing to ask them the tough questions to arrive at the truth of what's going on?
Not only we're gonna ask them the tough questions, but I'll ask it now. They just had this reduction in cabinet member pay, right? I think you've been watching it.
Yeah.
And some of them saying, hey, this is not right. We got responsibilities and all this great stuff, right? But come on, what do you tell that person that you furloughed? They have responsibilities too, but they have to make a sacrifice because the government don't got no money. At least you got a job, man. You may not be getting the big salary that you wanted, and maybe they're not paying you enough for what you want, but you're a public servant. You're not civil service. You are political appointee working for the government, and you're a public servant. I mean, soldiers don't get paid squat diddle, and guess what? You ask them to go out there and die for your cause, for our cause, or for our way of life, however you want to call it, and they get paid squat. But then you as a cabinet member are not willing to take a pay reduction. Why don't we furlough you and let your directors and secretaries start advising the governor and do your public service so we can put that money and try to put people who were furloughed back to work. And the other thing, Sitina mentioned about the PSS, did they follow the rules on that? And obviously we know that they didn't. Maybe not for all criteria, but they didn't follow it. Now, my big question to the governor or to all the political leaders, the incumbents right now, what is your plan for the life insurance that these guys been paying for years? Do they lose it? What if one of those individuals were to die tomorrow? And I hope that doesn't happen. Are they going to get their life insurance? Especially if I've been paying 20 years or 25 years or 15 years. What happens? It's not their fault that the government went broke, so they were furloughed. Now what happens to that money they invested into that day that if God forbid they have to leave this earth, there's money to give their family to help them with expenses or whatever the case may be for whatever you get the insurance for. But nobody seems to have an answer for that, and a lot of people don't even know what is the status of those life insurance or medical insurance. Now, thank God we got Medicaid. But what if we didn't? I mean, right now, we're on a breathing tube, and it's the federal government that's keeping us alive right now. If they were to pull out for whatever reason, or they went broke, then we're going to have to go back to the way we did things before, where we're going to have to be self-sufficient. And while we have the funds or the ability or capabilities to start something like that, whatever it may be, farming, agriculture, whatever. We need to start implementing those plans now and not wait till November to the new election cycle begin. I mean, once it begins, if the GOP has the answers, then start doing it now, man. Because people need help now. They don't need it after November 3rd. They need the help now.
Gentlemen, there's a question from Mr. Jose Kiyoshi, but I'm going to paraphrase his question. It's very similar. If elected and the investigation into the governor continues into the 22nd legislature, and if you determine, using all the evidence in front of you and your best conscience, that the governor did commit crimes, high crimes against the people of the CNMI, would you, Mr. De La Cruz, be willing to vote to impeach the governor, and would you, Mr. Cruz, be willing to vote to remove the governor from office?
Yes.
Thank you.
For the people. Yes.
You know, there's allegations, but if it's proven,
Yes.
then he's got to go.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter, because you're holding a position of trust from the people, not only to represent us, but to govern us. And, you know, with any organization, if you violate any of those rules or regulations that are placed out there, then yeah, you're going to be, my vote will be yes.
Okay.
But everybody's innocent to proven guilty. And I'm not defending the governor here. I'm just saying it doesn't matter if it was the Republican governor or the Democratic governor or whoever it is. You know, the great thing about living in America or under these rules is we have rights, you know. So we go through the system, and if it's proven that he is, then he's got to go. And it's simple as that.
Well, you guys have been very just forthcoming with very direct responses. It's not very typical for us to interview people who are running for politics and they have such straightforward answers. Normally there's the political answers drive people crazy. So what else do you guys want to talk about? That's of your platform, or what you want to do, or the problems that you see and the solutions you would like to propose.
Okay, Troy, let me take it this. You know, one of the reasons that I seriously, I ask many opinions, especially from my elders' family, my brothers, my siblings, my children, my cousins, my niece and nephews, and I asked them, if I decided, would you allow me to run and represent you of my family and help me out, and let's do the right thing, and let's serve and help each other for the people of Tinian. That's one of the reasons that and when I get the blessing on that, when I receive the blessing, I says, yes, I can do it. Now, so Freddie and I, we talk about a lot of things. We talk about a lot of things with my supporters. I hear and I listen to people, how they feel, how they're experiencing, and I feel them. So my plan is that when I'm elected, first is how we're going to deal this employment crisis. Currently, I don't hear any plans from the incumbent. I'm not going to go too deep into that, but I will speak for myself that I say, I want to do this. That's one. Two, I want to look into agriculture. How can I put together all these agencies? Then we can all sit down and say, okay, how about a co-op? Because I remember back many years the co-op. And if that works, then with all the modern technology that we have in our life, yes, I believe we can do. It's just a matter of how important, serious these agencies to work together as one so that we can support the farmers. That's two. The other part is our air transportation that provides air services between the island of Saipan, Tinian, Rhoda, and Guam. I hear a lot of words in the community, and before that, Glenn, let me put it for the record that I am currently manager for safety department of the Stamaranas here in Tinian.
Okay.
It's a great company. It's a good company. The dream of the company is not just that he wants to run the airline industry, but this company, the owner of the companies, is that they go out to the community and engage their time, their own expenses to beautify the areas surrounding the islands of Tinian on their own cost. What does the government do? I don't know. But in my experience, when I'm elected, I would like to sit down with the governor, with the mayor, with the members of the legislative delegation, and invite the only local airlines on Tinian, which is the Stamorana share that provide the services. We sit down with the CPA. Come on, guys. People are saying the Stamorana share expensive. No, it's not true. That is not true. Stamorana share, people feel that it's expensive is because our own government created such expensive airfare. Too many charges on airline industry.
So then, would you
How many-
would you
how
be,
many
would you
times-
be willing to lower those government fees or taxes?
I am going to sit down and I'm going to ask Lily, Congressman Sablan, is there any way you can knock a door somewhere there in the Washington D.C. Department of U.S. Transportation, IOA, all those agencies that provides FAA. Is there any way we can bring that money and subsidize this transportation so that the company can lower? And in my thinking, that if we all work together as one, if we lower all such fees and it's being covered, and they lower the passenger facility use, each of us we need to pay $4.50 just to access the terminal to go to Saipan coming back. Another $4.50, that's a $9 with landing fees, with so many fees. So my question is, if I'm elected, I want to sit down. How can we do to help the people of Tinian? We can do, but we just need to bring everybody together. Because in my dream, if Stamorana share feels, because I feel the Stamorana share invested, not only the airline, but they have their own houses, they have their own places, in the future, that he wants to be on Tinian permanently. And why don't we just accept this in our life that yes, it is. We need to do something. So in my thinking, and my thinking is that if we make it affordable for the people of Tinian and the Santa Marianas and Guam, of course, and our tourists as well, then the Stamaranas can say maybe, okay, this is works. Maybe Stamaranas share dream that can say, okay, we'll raise the salary of the employees so that we can encourage our local people and with the CWs to work together and love their job. Because Glenn, when you're in the airline industry, when you're in an airline industry, I am the safety manager, for God's sake. We're not in a hotel restaurant. We're not riding on you're in the store. We're in the airline industry. We need to keep everybody safe. So it is important, how very important to me, this airline industry in my life, for my people of Tinian, to afford a price. So I say, if I'm elected, that's what I should do. Call everybody in and let's talk about it and make Congressman Kilili involved, because I believe that Congressman Kilili can do something for us. Yes, but I don't hear this. I don't hear this happening. So I'm waiting and I can't wait. So partly I decide to run because I know I can make it happen. Thank you, and I'll give it to Freddie now.
Gentlemen, the Zoom meeting is about to log us out because we're heating up against an hour. So,
Okay.
can we? I want to give you guys the last word, and I don't speak Chamorro. I can understand a bit of it, but I want to hear that Tinian Chamorro accent as part of your closing. Talk to our audience if you could, please, both of you.
Okay. So, beautiful Chamorro, okay. Para todos si mani kung parewa imanomku iman getapa zani manobin. Estige o bunarason na zangin mahilizo gisinadon. Malaguzo na para bay huchogi tichoo hafa itong tota mas pepekta ginin hilo magi giligizat niyan. Isti istorya ni Manobin za Manobin many years takti terbiam zo lo paugusta Manobin amzo no isti politika na no imane kung no todo Troy. Kadang waktu tempong politika ma-organize isti Manobin. Manobin tanisita Manobin. Sa Manobin no pofan-pota gigi party. Go na ko experience jani politika takti ni manin rodorzu kandidato ne gwani manggarnazo lo mapedizo lo ki gwani no siya lo imanobin jangin may lihizo ekungo kamzo ni manobin sigurak estazo amko ja isinintetekko ki famagonno babisenti jani manobin hamzo ni manobin jangin no maulumzo ki senador Malaguzo Troy na babi chartered isti iman pobin na organisasyon para ijok ko boys galong komunidad. Sa siya ni Manobin sumisenti ti masisensenti apas ti sinenting gobernamento lo preparasyon ifuturo gi Manobin ni sita na panggay boys. At gino sa nga ni si Freddy suportazo jangin humalum jo Malaguzo iman hoben na para ofisyat menti alum tinian waha election pataza election. I wanna hear them. Help me out there in the community. So how did man skwekpela? Apa problema niya? Apa siya ko membabag di drugs? Apa siya manobin tatsogwi? Sa stress ti umalum i-pandemic na sitwasyon na Esta gizago nuevo pago na nilala sti jangin sto maulum di vaccine dalinga work good we can sleep well at night because sta coronavirus no munajan ni pande i vaccine cured. It's a new beginning in our life for the future of our generation. Famagunia I need to be concerned famagunno safa Tisinya na para babi aplikas ti na klaseng politika hafa pa ako taso sa ginigat siya ne. We need to educate ni Manobin. Hafa malago medyo ni Manobin. Ko patafana gigunya for another decade or nesesaryo o guahati ni Laika sa lingingnya na jangin umpega gwatu todo dun na igi ni malago niya. Maulik planon niya, maulik pumatsogi. Well, it can be true, but I disagree. Safa, for 16 years, edugin na kasing politika, naidyo, sabi na maulik todo. Go na, manhobin, jangin insedido, tengkis di siya lang nga, takgo, niti mambalansak. Ay, so maulong sigurak, ready zo, babekong imeya tiniyan, ready zo mabekngok i-delegation tiniyan. Ready zo manhoben babi ekngok i-municipal council i-consilio. Para babi fatotso put hamzo ni manhoben dyan imanam kota. Iman malanguta po ako na tempo man manisisita i-gobernamento lo makat sa i-pandemic i-rason. Gi opinion no tiro sunablis di pandemic. Sa umano zo pago pasay pa nung pisinang government for public information baga tutsungo pago baga ko witness jaw sodda government agencies contract workers mananagas-gas building like ko assign na manhobin lachisti na klaseng direksyon safa bula man ma-furlough bula man ma-fire best para babililigin na laot today, life, contract workers, contract businesses, gagi government office, mananagas-gas, galong office, like to assign na lokay na yagong bidanin niya ni Tauta. Estige, manarason na guwaho manamko, iman malango, iningok pa ako masasangan. Zating ki sa muhujung zo, di marana sa gupay, gi-radio Troy. Ungo talo na janggingwaha malongo gispita. Janggingwaha malongo gispita japon mapodmen sa ipan. Tadja sa lapenya programa. Pesa pasyon ni malongo, flitimo. Jangging pon ma-check sa ipan. Janggingwaha mo escort. Pasigi, domo escort de Pilipinas. 90 pesos si ticket manobin. Bis imanobin na, malago siya manobin para siyasti para inatan mo na. Kung man magagahitit, edi nagaw na. Babya kumpara dyan sa nizuko, ako na lang nga hobin maulik. Yeah, muskwela, malati, I respect that. He's my god brother, as a matter of fact. He's my god brother. But I respect the guy. I'm not gonna say anything bad about the guy. But hobin versus guaw kantidad sa quick experience, galong gobernamento. Socialize dyan na kasintaw to. Ube ekungog dyan. Hobin na jokwa ponan, yeah, malati, muskwela, malati. Loko asesenti sinentin minaka. Sago ulilii ja usesenti sinentin niya familako. Pure di siya man mafaya gitu ito na. It really hurts so no iman hobin jangin humalun jo malagdo jo babi char jabay funduji masya ututungi gidi offer the tachexa sponsors work with the manobin sa manobin property ifuturun maranas especially tinyan. I'm not gonna use manobin just because I'm running malalog jo ba senador be recognized pagi manobin. No, I need a manobin to give me the chance. Now it's only chance sa jangin humalon jo piso by chogwi by nalala inanun manobin sa amju pa jukku voice kinojung di publiko sin mas Glenn Troy ang puslay close sa amin si Glenn Manglonya marano sa gupa no para publiko pensa Glenn na ginome ko Glenn no forgive me si Freddy fan pa po binay sa gizan no o close still no Troy. Thank you Troy.
Thank you so much, Mr. Cruz.
Hey, Troy, I'll keep it short and sweet
right.
since it's getting dark over here.
That's a
Hey, I
beautiful
just-
scenery you guys have, by the way. Just a beautiful scenery.
Okay. Thank you. Well, I just want to ask everybody for their voting confidence, not just for myself, but my entire team. I really appreciate Kandit News for giving us this platform to speak about our issues and what we think on what's going on and why we're running. Thank you for everything. Nola, she made it happen. She was that conduit to you. I really appreciate what she's done for everything. Thank you guys, and that's all I have, Troy.
Thank you so much. And so
Troy,
finally, you have
can
to, huh?
So can I say a few words before
Yes,
we
of
close?
course, absolutely.
Okay, and also thank you. I mean, thanks everybody. Nola, and I forgot to mention because everybody almost forgetting it, but I never forget. Our candidate, Freddie and I, we endorsed the code non-partisan candidate Tina Municipal Council,
Okay.
and my supporter, our supporters, our team supporting, endorsing Joseph Manglonya, who's running for a municipal council. I believe in this guy. This guy, he can make it. He can get things done for the people.
Okay.
With the support of Juanita Masgamindiola, she's also a candidate for the municipal council. Freddie and I and our supporters, our team are endorsing this too. So thank you very much, Troy. We're looking forward. I think this is fun. Why not? We can meet again on the air.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah. And
And thanks.
hopefully Candid will be able to come to Tinian soon.
Please, you're welcome to come and visit the island of Tinian.
Thank you so much. Mr. Cruz, Mr. Dela Cruz, thank you so much for your time this evening, and thank you for your conversation. It's been wonderful. So the word is,
Thank you.
please vote for Frederick Dela Cruz for the House of Representatives, and please vote for Jose Cruz for the Senate. You vote in Tinian. You guys
Thank you.
You guys have a good night.
Thank you,
too,
sir.
Troy. Thanks.
Buenas noches para todos.
Nice, guys. Can you hear me? Wait. All right, for Candid, I'm Troy, logging off.